I want to call in support of this measure because other than that, what is really the solution to this schooling situation that we have now? Just increase more and more funding? This is going to eventually result in higher taxes. We've hiked taxes many times. If we keep doing so, it's going to get to the point that our prime attraction of living in this state, the tax climate, is simply going to go away. We do not have economies that you'll find in California, Illinois, and New York that has a large, wealthy, and corporate sector that is able to fund all this extra spending. We don't have that. Our economy is not diversified. And speaking of, what was I going to point out? Why these schools are such a mess, a former trustee talked about, is because we don't have good family structure. Parental involvement is not good enough. That is the main reason, by the way. So I think our schools should teach more about building good family structure, increasing the birth rate. That's what Elon Musk has talked about. Now, I want to talk about rent, if it's okay. If you want to improve the housing situation, think about the fact that the federal government owns 80% of the land, which, of course, Commissioner Larry Brown told me that you have land banking. What about all the hedge funds buying all the properties? What about all the permits and codes it takes to build new structures? Make it easier to expand housing supply first, and then you can figure out other measures. I'm concerned why these organizations are not talking about that.
Hello, my name is Lorena Cardenas, and I'm a parent of CCFC kids. I originally wasn't too in favor of these types of programs, but after hearing testimonies and the impact they have had in the success of fellow Nevada children, I completely support it. How can you not? I ask all of you, after hearing the testimony of the child that sat in front of you, asking that you please not make him leave his school, how do you reject his plea? If you strike this down, where is your argument that your concern is for the underprivileged, especially when it's not hurting anyone, but instead helping children? Your decision today to take opportunities from them will be absolutely heartless. Vote your conscience. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Leslie Quinn, for the record, and I am in support of item F, and I am very grateful to Governor Lombardo for bringing this to pass. I think our public school system, it's been very evident that they have not provided the type of education that our children need. I think parents do have a right to be able to access these funds to help their children. Who knows better, a parent or government? So I fully support this. I thank you, Governor Lombardo, again. And it's a shame that I'm hearing all these different coalitions speak against this. You've gotten plenty of money, public school system, and we're 50th in the nation. That is not a good track record. Our children, if we're going to be attracting people to Nevada, we want to have great education. We do not have that at this time. So throwing more money at public schools when you have a lot of money that has already been given to you, just even in this past legislative session, yeah, this is extra COVID money and it should be divvied up to parents to help their children so that they can succeed. And my hope is definitely that U.S. citizen children would get the monies first because this money is probably coming from the taxpayers at this point. But I am in support of helping all children, but I would really love the U.S. citizen children to be getting this access for it first in Nevada. So thank you so much again, and kudos to you, Governor Lombardo, again, one more time. And thank you, Lorena Cardenas, for such an amazing explanation of why this should pass. And I do thank you for this time.
Hi, my name is Katrin Ivanov, aka Mrs. Fixit, and I'm from Assembly District 42. And I want to say that it's a poetic justice that the item on the agenda for the school is F, because that is exactly the grade our public schools have been getting for the last many, many years. And many of you have been in the legislature and haven't managed to pass any law to correct that. But you guys didn't sign to fund 600 kids. 600 kids. You want to yank the schools that they know? You want to take it away from them? That is cruel and unusual punishment for those kids. I want you to imagine that your kid was one of those 600. What would you do then? You are there to express, to represent us, and you're supposed to do what we ask you to do. 80% of Nevadans approve school choice. Yet, that didn't happen. I'm hoping that Nevadans are listening and vote more informed next time and put people in there that actually is going to represent them. Because if 80% of Nevadans want something, that should have been a no-brainer. The way it is a no-brainer to vote yes on item F because of our failing schools, and don't stress those kids anymore. They have enough stress. You know how stressful it is to be a teenager, and on top of that, you want to yank them from the environment they know and put them in the environment that they don't want to be in. This is absolutely unfair. Please reach inside your heart. This is not about politics. This is not about games. This is about kids and their future. And keep in mind that those kids are going to grow up and they're going to be our future. We're going to be old and we're going to be waiting on them to come up with some ways to take care of us. And if we don't teach them right, I don't think we are going to have a future. So please vote.
Thank you so much. We are past the 2 minutes. If you have any written comments, please submit those. Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
You do the same. Next caller.
My name is David Gibbs. I'm the president of the Nevada Republican Club. I want to echo the comments of Peter Guzman that he just made. This is about the kids. There are over 385,000 students in the Nevada public school system. We're talking about 600 here. That's 0.15% of the population of the school district. If that's going to have such a negative impact on our schools, then we've got bigger problems than just the fact of whether or not the Opportunity Scholarship gets passed. I don't understand when the Democrat Party stopped being the supporter and the champion of minorities and stopped being the supporter and the champion of the folks at the lower income spectrum who need assistance and need opportunities to benefit that the government can provide them. I request that you take another look at it and you approve item F. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Mayo Doriso. I'm here speaking for myself and the 5 children and 9 grandchildren that I have in this community. I have 5 children. They were all different learners, educated at both public and private institutions in Southern Nevada and Las Vegas. And one of the glaring things that we have to look at the Clark County School District is not only is it failing our children, but it has no real competition within the CCSD system. It is the largest school district. It is one single school board. There's no competition. I'm a big proponent and have been of breaking up the school district into different components where you actually would get some competition. We all know that competition breeds excellence. When you have to compete for services, when you have to compete against somebody, you get better. And by denying this item, you're really cutting into what needs to be a more competitive environment so our children are educated better. They have better education opportunities. Parents should have choices and students should have choices. And to do that, we need a competitive environment. I'd like to compare what I'm talking about to the very elections that you all participate in. You participate in an election where it is very competitive. You put yourself out there with other opponents. You are transparent. You send mailers. You're trying to convince the buyers, the voters, that you're the best choice. And you do that through a very competitive environment. And I have to think, because you're sitting here, all of you as elected leaders, you benefited from that very competitive environment. And that's what we're asking you to do with the scholarship program, is provide money for students and parents to make a choice, to be competitive. And you benefit from this. And the same way that businesses make choices to give a pre-tax donation to Opportunity Scholarship Fund is likened to the same way that they decide to donate to you, to your campaign. They make a choice. You're their choice. You use that money to compete. That's what we're asking. The Opportunity Scholarship Program.
We are past the 2 minutes.
Okay.
If you have written comments, I ask that you submit them.
Okay, thank you. But just please vote for this item. Thank you.
Good morning, committee chair and members. My name is Julie Herford, Hereford. I'm co-founder of Nevada's Citizen Action Network, an issue-oriented grassroots organization. I'm here to urge you to vote yes for item F on today's IFC agenda. In addition to all the excellent testimony and point and made, I only have a short one question. What make Culinary Union's Academy of Las Vegas more important than the 600 children from the low-income family that is currently enlisted in the cover under the Opportunity Scholarship? Most of you probably voted to give $25 million to the Culinary Union, but may not choose to vote for the $3.2 million to keep the 600 kids from being denied the opportunity to stay in the school that they choose to go to. The argument of taking funding from the public school is an incorrect one. The governor's team worked hard to find solution, and to use the COVID funding that they're proposing will not be competing with any other educational spending. So for the sake of not punishing these 600 kids because their family can afford to send them to a better school, please vote yes to item F to give our young Nevadans the equal opportunity that they deserve. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, committee, for allowing me to testify today. My name is Jill Douglas. I'm the president of Battleborn Republican Women. I'm a mother of 4 sons who were educated in our Clark County public school system and a grandmother of 8. I support item F to fund opportunity scholarships. This is not a political issue. This is a humanity issue. This is an issue of allowing children to continue in the schools that they have been attending. This is an opportunity issue for our minority and low-income students. I ask you to vote in favor of our children. Children are our greatest asset. They are our future. They deserve every opportunity we can provide for them. Better education means better educated citizens. It means a lower crime rate with improved employment opportunities, thus improving our economy. I ask you, government should not be standing in the way. Please, please support our children, support our future, and vote yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Dear members of the committee, my name is Valeria Gurr. I'm a first-generation American from Chile and part of the Nevada Hispanic community. I'm also a senior fellow for the American Federation for Children and the head of the Nevada School Choice Coalition. I'm here today because I know that 500 students will lose their scholarship and not have a chance of a great education without your help. Last year, the same students were able to attend a school that works for them and their needs with the help of the Opportunity Scholarships. This program is funded through tax credit, which means it does not take money away from public schools. There are 1,400 students on Opportunity Scholarship and at least 2,000 of them on a waiting list. Isn't that number a testament of how many students are being failed by the current public school system, and how many families are seeking for options. For 3 consecutive sessions, I have been asking the Nevada legislature to make funding permanent for the program, because these families deserve better than instability and have to come back and asking year after year for permanent funding. Especially after allocating record funding for the public schools, legislators should support family choices. For financially vulnerable families, this program is changing their lives and opening doors. As anybody mentioned throughout today, the average scholarship for the household of families participating in the program is $52,000 a year. The Opportunity Scholarship Program, as you all know, is very diverse. I come to you before today as an advocate, but also as a mother. I have heard from many families of the students that will lose their scholarships if Governor Lombardo's funding proposal is not passed. It breaks my heart to hear that from these parents are scared that their children will not receive quality education that meets their needs. They're worried that their children will be denied a chance of success, because both of you and I know that the quality of education means indeed a key to opportunity. But today you can make this change for vulnerable students. You can ensure that they can stay in their current school and they can stay in the path of a successful future. Financially vulnerable families should have access to educational options. It's not public schools versus private schools.
2 minutes. Thank you so much. If you have written comments, go ahead and submit those. There's a button right on. There we go.
UEHLING. Usually there's a period for comment of people that are sitting on the fence. The people that have talked so far today have either been very much in favor or very much against. I'm sitting on the fence, really. The question is, the reality in the world, the reason this money even exists is because of a meeting that was held at the end of World War II in Bretton Woods, which assigned the United States the ability to create money, to be the money for the world. That means that it can could write something and say, oh, here's $5 billion or $5 trillion, like the administration has done in the last couple of years. And so this forces the rest of the world to contribute to the well-being of the American people. We're subsidized by the other 7 trillion people in the world. So my dilemma is knowing that the course of the current political establishment, including this one, is the end course here is bankruptcy. There's no question that the country is going to end up bankrupt, that there's going to be a total change, and this change could occur as early as next week when the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, get together and form their own currency that replaces the US dollar and that will be based on gold rather than on debt. Our currency is based on $31 trillion in debt. My dilemma is, do we want to accelerate this process by going ahead and believing all these idiocies that have been expressed today about how competent the public schools are when it's a total lie, or do we accelerate that process toward bankruptcy, or do we make a common sense decision that and look at who produces better students, these charter schools or the Clark County School District?
I thank you so much for your comments today. We are past the 2 minutes.